that I find are positive. I like the fact that there is a tax that all people, whether they're here legally, illegally, whether they are involved in business or not, that they pay a tax based on what they purchase. I like that theory, and I like that very, very much. I also like the fact that for those in different economic positions in life, that there's a prebate, that prebate takes into consideration the economic state of everyone based upon their income. I like that very much. But there are some things that bother me very, very greatly about the fair tax. First and foremost, you vote in the fair tax, it does not automatically repeal the 16th Amendment. And yet, that is how this is being given to the American people, that you vote for it and it will automatically end the 16th Amendment. And that is just not true. It says that the 16th Amendment should be repealed, but it doesn't repeal it. And so therefore, the last thing I want is the current tax system that we have with IRS, and then also have the fair tax. The implementation of this plan, I think, is flawed. Secondly, as a small business owner who creates jobs and sweats a payroll every Friday, I'm tired that they don't give me enough consideration for hiring the person that collects that tax. Oh, they give me a menial 0.075 for that person, but that person costs me a whole heck of a lot more than 0.075 of the money that we send to them. I'm tired of small business doing all the heavy lifting for the federal government. And so therefore, I don't like that either. Also, I think the 23% that they have proposed can rise too fast. And if we're not in trouble, that 23% will be 48% overnight.
I'm a huge supporter of the fair tax. I disagree with both my opponents over here. First of all, the fair tax does have in the bill the 16th Amendment has to be repealed within 5 years. It's been like that for the 8-9 years that it's been introduced into Congress. That is one of the provisions for it. As far as the fair tax's assets, you can't tell me you don't want a tax that gets rid of every current source of federal revenue, corporate income tax, Social Security tax, also income tax, death tax, alternative minimum tax. All of these are eliminated and replaced by a 23% inclusive tax. That means it's the same thing you do when you go to the filling station or the gas station to get fuel. The tax is already in there, so there will not be a big problem collecting it. The states will be doing it on their level just like they do a state tax. The other thing is that this will eliminate the IRS. You will never have to fill out another tax form, and you get to keep every bit of your paycheck. Now, there is no way that our current tax code or any tax code can do that right now. And it has been studied for 10 years, spent $10 million on studying this. Let me tell you what 50 of the leading economics professors did in 2003. They sent a letter to President Bush begging him to implement this bill. If 400 of the companies, 400 of the biggest companies in the world said they would move their next plant over here, and 100 of them would move their headquarters here within a year, I think it's something we definitely need to look at. Thank you.
Well, I would certainly vote for the fair tax, but more important than that, I will vote for anything that gets rid of 16,000 IRS agents instead of hiring 16,000 more. I don't like that. We've got to eliminate it, whatever it takes. We've got to do a tax system in this country. I don't think anybody up here can get the fair tax or any other specific one tax passed. And I'm going to try, like everybody else will. But what we've got to have is we need to have it so no American citizen, I don't care if you make $1 billion a year, you shouldn't have to give more than 25 cents out of your profit dollars to the federal government under any circumstances. I don't care how much money you make, because the brightest people that make the most, and I'm not in the top 10%, but right now you have top 10% paying 72% of all taxes is paid by those. About 47% don't pay any tax at all. I want some fair and equitable system for our taxes. If you make $1,000 a month, okay, you got a regular 40-hour-a-week job, pay a 0.5% or 1% tax. If you you make $500,000 a year or whatever, okay, they can't take more than 25 cents on the dollar, no matter how many ways they take taxes from you. I don't care if it's gas tax, value-added tax, flat tax, the fair tax, or the regular W-2 form tax. I don't care how it is, they can't get more than 25 cents on you. And that's what I'm going to be up there pushing for, is to completely revamp our tax system. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be very, very difficult to do. But it can be done. We got to have enough people up there that's like me, that will lead a coalition to trim all this thing down. That way I can slow down the size and scope of the federal government and get rid of our taxes. I'll do just that. Thank you very much.
Okay, question number 4. What is your position on don't ask, don't tell?
I do not believe that the military should ever be a place for a social experiment. I think when you send men and women to war, that you should be, the principles and the efforts that you're putting them up against should be tried and true. I don't care what maybe somebody that's pushing a socialist agenda wants. What I care is that the men and the women, when they are in arm's way, that they are comfortable. They shouldn't have to worry with the environment around them. It is a dangerous proposition to toy with that and to change that. And I can't believe that we have a White House and a Congress right now with two wars going on. I cannot believe that they will play with what has been worked for so long. It bothers me greatly, and I think, don't ask, don't tell has worked, and we certainly would never try this while we have 2 active engagements going on, and our young men and women are on the foreign battlefield.
We have way too many other issues in this country to be worried about. Don't ask, don't tell. If he wants to worry about something, how about worrying about giving the power to the military commanders over in Afghanistan to fight the war and change rules of engagement so our soldiers aren't getting killed over there for no reason? As a former military officer being in the Army, this is my personal opinion on that. In the situation of being in the Army, when you're out in the field, when you are in a combat situation, I think it degrades your effectiveness as a fighting unit. And that's really all I have to say about that. Thank you.
I think I went on record the very first debate, didn't I, Steve? I really don't think they're going to vote for me anyway. My answer to that question really is, how does it affect the mission that we're on and the morale of our men and women who are serving? That's all I care about. I don't care if they're gays or lesbians or whatever they want to call themselves, and they're planning to pink barracks somewhere. What I'm concerned about is, how do we function as a unit? How do we stand up for this nation and fight the wars, the battles we got to fight, and get our men and women home safe? And I would leave it up to the military leaders. They know best how to handle this. They know how it affects the mission or the morale of what we're trying to accomplish wherever we go as a military unit. And so that's really my statement. Is I want to allow the military to do it the way they feel like they ought to do it. If they can't lead us as a military unit, we're not going to have a country very long, because everybody's going to run through us because they think we're a joke as it is, except for our military now. And if like Henry says, you turn them loose to let them go fight the dadgum battle instead of holding their hands. I'm 65 years old, so I'm Vietnam era people. Back then, oh, you can't shoot anybody unless they shot at you. Well, it's a little dadgum place, don't you think?
To go back to the fair tax just for a second, I don't know if there are any bridge players in the room or not, but I just want to say, to let y'all know the truth, and I think you know it, but a bill does not